Well, uh, I'm going to begin your test tonight. I'm going to take your test. I'm 𝐬𝐵𝐁𝐻, one of your practice examiner for tonight, and I'm going to begin the test. What's your name?
My name is Tasneem Binte Haq. You can call me Tasneem.
All right, Miss Tasneem, can I see your ID?
Here it is.
All right. So basically, you would say, sir, here is my passport. Please have a look. Try to use this polite expression. All right. Do you
Sir,
work or study?
currently I am unemployed. I have completed my post-graduation from 𝗂 University of Science and Technology. After that, I didn't try for any job. I am preparing for my higher studies.
All right, sounds great. So, do you like working in a team or as an individual?
That's an interesting question. I have never thought about that before. That is because as I am new in the employment or job field, I think I will prefer working with a team. That is because when I work with a team, it would give me more a chance to explore and learn new things from the experienced person.
All right. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is maroon, bright red, and navy blue. However, I like almost all colors. That is because I am a colorful person.
All right, sounds great. So where are you from?
Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, where are you from? I mean, your hometown.
I'm Okay, thank you. I am from Singh. It is one of the populous city of my country. More than 2 million people live there. I have been living there from my childhood itself, and I live with my family in my hometown.
All right. So why is your hometown is famous for?
I'm not quite sure about what to talk. That is because our hometown is not a popular city where people come for tourism. However, I would say it is the nearest city from our capital, that is Dhaka. So many people who cannot afford to live in Dhaka, but they need to be near the metropolitan city, they tend to live in our hometown. And if I want to add that we have a very good education system. There are many educational institutions like schools, colleges, and both the universities here very good. So I think for educational institutions, I can call my hometown popular and famous.
All right. Do you know the history of your hometown?
I don't know elaborately. However, I know our hometown became independent on 9th December 1971. Apart from this, it was always a town when the British used to rule us. That time also it was a town and a big town to be more precise. I don't know actually much about my hometown.
All right, sounds great. So what kind of snacks do people eat in your country?
People in my country are very foodie. They like to eat and try new cuisines always. However, if I want to speak about the snacks, most of the people like to eat the traditional snack foods like cakes, which our mothers or grandmothers make, or they can eat they can take some sweet dishes sweet dishes like sweet or chocolates. Apart from this, biscuit or cookies is one of the most popular snack among our people. That is because it's very cheap and very affordable for the most of the people here.
All right. Would you prefer a healthy snack or an unhealthy one?
I would prefer a healthy one, of course. From childhood itself, I am very conscious about my health. But most of the time, would prefer a fruit or vegetable for my snack. But there are some time when I become greedy and take unhealthy foods, and later I become sick sometimes. So from the last few months, I am totally avoiding the unhealthy snacks.
All right. Did you enjoy doing art lessons when you were a child?
To be honest, I was never a creative person. When I was a child, it was hard for me to paint anything. However, I was good at writing. So I didn't ever enjoy the art class, but I enjoyed our language class or history class more. Still now also, I don't have any interest in art or painting, but I like to write and read about new literature and language.
All right. You might have a screen. You might.
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. Sounds great. So here is the cue card. You will get a minute for making notes. After a minute, you have to speak over 2 minutes. Your time starts now. All right. Please have a start.
Thank you. When I was in school, I used to study several subjects. But if I want to count the most important or the most interesting subject that I studied, I would go for Bangladesh and global studies. I studied it when I was at class 9. As I was a science student, I did not get much into history or geography. However, we had overall Bangladesh and global studies book that we had to read for purpose of gaining knowledge about our country. I found it quite interesting and very fascinating. That is because it included the geography of our country. About it, it was in this book. Many stories about our famous people like politicians and art and literature was written. Apart from this, our country's geography, history, art, culture, everything was included in that book. As I was in a science group, I never got the opportunity to explore about my country's history or about the freedom fighters and all. So when it was the time for me to read my Bangladesh and global studies book, I was fascinated and very interested in reading about them. I enjoyed it. That is because it was one of the easiest subjects as well as enjoyable also. In the hard times, I used to, when I was getting bored with my studies, I used to take this book and read it for some times. It would remove my monotony of my regular day-to-day studies. I enjoyed writing. That is because it included creative writing when it came to exam. Otherwise, for my other subjects, I had to memorize the questions answers. But when it came to this subject, I could use my own imagination power, and I write whatever I could and whatever came into my mind. That is why I liked this subject. However, after completing my graduation, I have decided to go for higher studies, and if I get any opportunity, I will surely go for a creative subject where I will get to use my imagination power and take my own interest. I don't know if I will get that chance or not, but still, I will try my best.
All right. In your country, at primary school, do young people prefer studying language?
I am not sure about this. That is because I was never in a primary school. However, I would say when children are in primary school, they don't know much about their studies. They only go through the things their teacher tell them to. So I don't think they can take an interest in language when they're that much younger. However, when they start going to high school and become a bit mature, then they may take interest in their in particular subjects. It may be language or it may be art or anything.
Well, uh, do you think students should learn the language at their primary school? Students should learn international language at their primary school.
Yes, they should. That is because the childhood itself is the main time for them to acquire new knowledge. You see, fresh mind, they have fresh minds and they can acquire anything much easily than we adults. When a child is younger, she or he can adopt to a new language very quite easily. So in primary school, the education curriculum must include some foreign language so that the children can learn it. Um, However, in our country, I don't think we have that facilities.
Well, um, in your country, do young people learn computer uh, at their primary school? Can you hear me now?
Uh,
In your
uh,
country, do young learners learn computer at the primary school?
I don't think so. As you see, our country is one of the most populous countries of the world with a huge influx of people living in town as well as villages. Our primary schools are mostly government aided. They have very limited facilities like the basic education. Apart from this, they don't have anything to do with the little children, so they don't get the chance to explore about computer in the primary school. They may suffer for it in the future. If I go to the education higher level, sometimes I would try to add this in the primary curriculum.
All right, thank you very much. That's the end of your test.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, so do you have any query?
Your feedback.
All right, the feedback is excellent right now.